Everyone, it's Deja with knitandcrocheteverafter.com. Today we're going to do the fly stacked lace stitch pattern. This is a really easy stitch pattern. You're going to download the pattern below. I'll talk more about it after we do some actual stitching, and let's get started. For the fly stack lace, we are going to do multiples of 3 for the chain. So whatever size you want, just do a multiple of 3. I've got 12 chains here. So we're going to double crochet in the third chain from the hook and in each chain across. I always put a T on that. Across. So double crochet in each one. And then we'll come back for row 2. Okay, row 2 is the beginning of our row pattern repeat. It's just 2 rows, 2 and 3. So the first thing we're going to do is a chain 3. And we're going to skip the first 2 double crochets of the row below. So even that first stitch and that next stitch. And then in that third stitch, we're going to do a double crochet, chain 1, double crochet. So it's going to be like a fan stitch. So DC, chain 1, DC. Then we're going to skip 2 double crochets and we're going to do the same thing again. Another fan stitch, double crochet, chain 1, double crochet. And we repeat that all the way across until we get to the end. So skip 2, 1 here, and there's 2 stitches at the end. There's the double crochet and there's the turning chain. So at the very end, we are skipping 1 stitch and then doing a double crochet in the top of this turning chain to finish it off. Same thing with over here where we skipped 1. Row 3, final row, very simple. We're going to chain 3 and then we're going to double crochet in this big space that the chain 1 created 3 times. So this is the second portion of the lace. And we're just doing that across. Very simple. If you don't lose your stitch. You don't really have to think too much to do this stitch pattern, which is nice. It's a good TV stitch pattern, as in watch TV while you're doing it. 3 again in the next chain 1 space. 1, 2, 3. Again, 3 in the next chain 1 space. And then at the very end of the row, you're just going to do a double crochet in that turning chain, just like the last row. So you kind of skip 1, which is that last V, and then do a double crochet right here. And that's what's going to happen. So we just make this so you can see how easy this stitch pattern is. When you do your chain 3, these middle 3, or these 3 double crochets, you're going to be doing your fan stitch in the middle of it. So you just look for that middle double crochet and do your fan stitch right on top of that, which creates your space for your next 3 double crochets when you come back. So very easy, not a lot of thinking involved. Just look where you're placing your stitch. You don't really need to count. Don't really need to keep track because they're both different, so you know which row you're on. Such an easy stitch pattern. I love it. I love easy stitch patterns. And it's not boring, you know. You could just do double crochets all the way up. That's super boring. This gives it some interest, some texture, some neat look to it. I threw a border on my finished one, or a top double crochet, because it calls for that bottom double crochet. So I finished it off with a row of double crochet at the top. But you could see it's very reversible. Both sides work great. Very simple. Doesn't really need blocking. You might want to just block the edges and the corners to get those real pointy if you want. Otherwise, it's good to go the way it is. I did really minimal blocking on this. So it's a really fun, easy, cool stitch pattern for self-striping yarns. You can make stripes really easily if you change the colors, or just keep it all solid. Work with a whole lot of different kinds of yarns. This is the Fly Stacked Lace. I'm Deja with Knit and Crochet Ever After, and thank you for watching.